We have an update on Liv Morgan for you now, particularly an expansion to what I said, a spoiler warning. Liv Morgan is currently positioned as the top face woman on the Smackdown card. She has been put into the banner replacing Charlotte Flair, and she will be amongst the top competitors and competing for championships going forwards. This news already popped out on Twitter and got quite viral with nearly 30,000 views, but I've got a lot more information to share now. Subscribe if you like information like this. The WWE are currently preparing, and have been for the last year, for life post Four Horsewomen, and it couldn't have come at a better time. Sasha Banks, as we know, is gone and become Mercedes money elsewhere. Charlotte Flair is taking time off. She's now returned to the time off that she would have continued if not being called back to face Rhea Ripley when Ronda Rousey didn't want to. We're also not entirely sure Charlotte wants to return. Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins are looking for limited date contracts to spend more time with their families, which would mean less appearances from Becky Lynch and the like. Bayley's position at this point is unknown, and that creates big opportunities for Liv Morgan and many others on the card. We've already seen the sustained push by Bianca Belair, essentially becoming on a par with the Four Horsewomen. Shortly before that, Alexa Bliss was the chosen one who would be on that level, and briefly at least they were trying to push Nia Jax, but now Liv Morgan is going to be taking that spot. Bianca Belair's already there. Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, Roxanne and Gigi Dolan have been recognised as potential top-level stars internally by the WWE, and since Triple H took over, Raquel, Io Sky and Dakota Kai are also of key interest and significance going forwards. In the absence of Charlotte Flair, Liv Morgan has become the top face on SmackDown women's side, but with the caveat of the draft incoming. Both Alexa Bliss and Bianca Belair have been mentioned as potential moves to SmackDown, with Belair potentially dropping the Raw Women's Championship to add to the overall star power on the SmackDown side. That said, it's a very positive sign seeing Morgan move to the SmackDown banner in place of Charlotte Flair, and there's also encouraging signs, particularly in the fact that she's currently, and I can report exclusively, receiving training in public relations and becoming one of the top choices for key public events. For example, baseball games, basketball games, and recently Family Feud. The long-term plan at the moment is Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley, likely for the SmackDown Women's Championship, to main event night 1 of WrestleMania 40. The build has already begun, with Ronda Rousey or Charlotte Flair most likely to move to Raw and take the championship from Bianca Belair, but that still leaves that vacancy, and Liv Morgan has been told she's going to be up there competing. This will start pretty much immediately, has in fact already started with the championship win. Liv Morgan versus Ronda Rousey round 2 in particular is set to begin very shortly. This is apparently largely at the request of Ronda Rousey herself, who was unhappy with the previous run. For those unaware or not regular spoiler warning viewers, Ronda Rousey has a number of different factors built into her contract which gives her creative control over most of what she does. The reason Charlotte Flair was forced to return was because Ronda Rousey did not want to defend the SmackDown Women's Championship against Rhea Ripley and lose at WrestleMania, as was the plan going into it. Charlotte Flair was drafted in order to make that change so that she could lose to Charlotte Flair, and Charlotte Flair would then lose to Rhea Ripley, as Charlotte was apparently very happy to do. Ronda Rousey is essentially deciding on a lot of her own booking. She wants another shot at the work with Liv Morgan because she's not particularly happy with how the previous run went. Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler are set to compete for the Tag Team Championships as the launchpad for this feud once both recover from current injuries. Ronda Rousey has an arm and shoulder injury, Shayna Baszler has an ankle injury, which has kept them out of already competing for the Tag Team Championship. So what I will say is, as early as the Royal Rumble, the plan was for Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler to compete for the Tag Team Championships against, at the time, Dakota Kai and Io Sky, before it was Lita and Trish Stratus were drafted in, and also Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez in a triple threat tag team match. The WWE, particularly Triple H at the moment, want to get Liv Morgan on the cards. Morgan and Rousey will largely be responsible for revitalising the tag division going forwards, meaning that Morgan will be in and around those championships as well as the top championship for most of this year. A creative storyline is being put together as we speak for Liv Morgan to challenge Rhea Ripley and to be built further on the back of that. A large part of Liv Morgan's initial run and initial push was actually led by Vince McMahon. He is the one who initially recognised Morgan and put her into the feud alongside Rusev against Bobby Lashley and Lana. That is the moment at which the WWE creative team were convinced that this woman can cut a very strong promo. We should get her a lot more involved. In fact, Vince McMahon valued her even higher than Rhea Ripley, and giving her the SmackDown Women's Championship last year was a key part of that. He chose that once it became clear that Cody Rhodes would not be able to win Money in the Bank because of his injury, and Vince McMahon decided they needed a top-level face in place who could get the big pop and send the crowd home happy. Liv Morgan was that one. Triple H has changed that slightly, with more of a focus on Rhea Ripley, Roxanne Perez, Dakota Kai and Io Sky in the conversation. Gigi Dolan, as I mentioned earlier, is considered to be a future Shawn Michaels level talent, which is a very, very good thing to say. When she broke up the tag team of Toxic Attraction, the idea was that she would be the Shawn Michaels of that duo, even though she might not come out the winner from the off. There'll be a lot more information about this. I've currently still got my ear to the ground, and you'll hear a lot more about Liv Morgan in the coming days. The clip from Spoiler Warning did go viral with nearly 30,000 views. Thank you, Connor, for clipping and cutting that. Hopefully a few people stick around because there'll be plenty more information coming, so be sure to hit subscribe on this one. If you're a fan of Liv Morgan, I promise you this is the place where you'll get the most information. In the meantime, thank you everyone, and I'll see you all very soon.